And we are live for some Thursday night Chair League action here in Heroes of the Storm. My name is Terrace Paz, and I'm bringing to you a Division 1 round of 16 bout between North Arrow on the blue team and LiT eSports on the red. We're getting a bit of a late start here, but both teams making up for it by flying through the first steps of the draft with the meta bans of the day, banning Malfurion from North Arrow and Samuro on LiT eSports. There's often a saying that perception is reality, and Malfurion and Samuro have both been just top tier for so long that it's hard to shake that, even if they've gotten some slight adjustments back to normal. But no mistake, they're still very good selections, and I can see both teams do not want to see them on the other side of the field. ETC, the first pickup for North Arrow. The map is Towers of Doom, so being able to control a large area fight around the shrines is definitely going to be a priority, and ETC can isolate people fairly well in that regard, and Li Ming can keep the poke going long enough to wait for reinforcements to provide some backup, and Muradin's going to be an excellent tool for Li Ming to fire around. So a very strong core for LiT eSports. We see this a fairly good amount. Li Ming and Muradin just slot so well with so many different teams that it's really hard to go wrong. I mean, LiT eSports has almost limitless options from here, and no matter where they decide to go, they've got a good starting point to come from. But North Arrow is elected to pick up Brightwing and Vala, looking to have some of those long extended fights to really capitalize on Brightwing's essentially free but sort of so sustained healing, and not a surprise to see that pick from North Arrow as well. Valo offers the same amount, relatively the same amount of delay and poke and stalling that Li Ming can. And can also really capitalize on just mowing someone down if they're unfortunate enough to get caught in one of those long stuns, or whether it's a mosh pit or just being out of position, ETC can really combo well with Vala in that regard. And LiT eSports doesn't want to give North Arrow any more tools at their disposal to lock someone in place, so Zarya is going to be taken off the field. And North Arrow, with their at least primary support in tow, takes Ariel away, not wanting Li Ming to have a second crown, because A, that would just be gaudy, and B, that would keep her bar just totally filled, and if she was able ever to get a takedown, then LiT eSports would just rocket back to full health with no troubles at all, with Li Ming's trait and Ariel's healing just fully restoring their entire team. But LiT eSports is on the button now for selection. Thrall going to be the next pickup for LiT eSports, and the Thrall pick there is as much a tool to give them another frontline damage dealer as to take one away from North Arrow. Right now, North Arrow seems to be relying totally on ETC to man the front line, so it's reasonable to assume they're going to get some more people to stand in the front and either absorb or deliver damage. And Thrall a good takeaway from them. Tyrant going to be at least the first support for LiT eSports. We've seen it since the dawn of time, since the ancient Europeans crossed the Atlantic to found a new America. Muradin and Tyrant have been an excellent combination to each other, and that continues to this day. And so Alarak's going to be the pick for North Arrow, so there's their big frontline source of melee damage, and if Alarak and ETC can stay out of each other's way, they can really start bullying people around in a team fight, just moving them, from the front to the back, from the back to out of the fight, and ideally from a full health hero to a dead hero. And that's definitely a force to be reckoned with in the hands of a skilled player. Falstad going to be the pickup again for North Arrow, so a lot of damage represented here. And Lili going to be the stalwart to shut everything down. The blinds to administer to both Vala and Alarak should help prevent enough of that damage to keep LiT eSports up long enough to survive. But a very fast draft and two very experienced teams clearly at the helm. So we're going to jump right in to the loading screen. I'm going to fiddle with some settings here so you don't have to hear Super Mario Brothers. You can hear the wondrous, joyous, soothing sounds of the Nexus.
I stand ready.
I stand ready too, Vala. And so like that, we are off to the races, loading into Towers of Doom for round 1 of this best of 3 series between North Arrow and LiT eSports. And so we didn't have a whole bunch of time to look through, how each team's going to perform against each other, what they're looking to do. And LiT eSports, it seems like it's all about getting the quick takedown. If they can remove someone from the fight fairly quickly, then LiMing's going to be able to capitalize on damage. But if Brightwing can disrupt that through shields or a well-timed polymorph, then that might be the thing they need to save themselves. But we're loaded in, gates are coming down, queues are mounting up, and on the red team for LiT eSports, we have Revendell on LiLi, Akuma on Muradin, Aerolivia on LiMing, Roses in Hell on Tyrande, and Unknown Soul on Thrall.
10 seconds.
And representing North Arrow on the blue team, we have Majam on Brightwing, Devil Shark on Alarak, Dividakos on ETC, Mr. Oreo on Falstad, and Zik on Vala. Gates are down, teams are rushing headlong into a big owl from Tyrande, so no surprise for LiT eSports that they're going to put all 5 of North Arrow's bodies in the mid lane to start this pre-game brawl, and a lot of damage comes down on LiMing. She is able to avoid any sort of crowd control and is able to walk to safety and just soak up those heals from Tyrande and LiLi, and should be having just a grand old time. Already back to full health, so no big engagements from each team. Both teams just looking to be safe, don't want to surrender an early takedown and start this game on the wrong foot, and with that, teams are off to lane. Down in the bottom, we're going to have a duel between Thrall and Alarak, which is always a tense match. It can go very quickly one side or another if one hero gets caught out of position, gets the wrong redirect, but a bit of a flank coming in from North Arrow behind LiT eSports. The damage comes pouring down onto Tyrande, and I don't think she's going to survive this. A sliver of health, a huge cup from LiLi, but not enough as the polymorph and subsequent damage comes out from North Arrow to secure the first takedown of the match. So quick rotations from North Arrow. Falstad hopping back to mid lane to soak what experience he can. Missed a couple minions there, but it's certainly worth it to pick up the hero takedown. Meanwhile, Alarak in a bit of trouble here, trying to dodge and juke Muradin and Thrall, but it's going to be a tall order as his telekinesis is on cooldown. Brightwing coming in to try and save him, but Alarak not able to get the equalizer, and so it's so far 1-1 in respect to both teams. Oh, but with that, the rotation does come out and get Thrall taken out, so North Arrow manages to equalize and possibly more as Muradin is desperately trying to get back to safety. ETC doing everything he can to body block him out, and Muradin will barely get to his fountain, and his trait should take over in time to get him back into the battle very soon. Meanwhile, the action seems to be on North Arrow's side of the map as Tyrande just eats damage from Falstad and Alarak and has a very quick and brutal death. So it looks like the first round of shots is going to go in favor of North Arrow getting 2 of the I don't know what they're called, towers? I guess it would make sense that they're called towers on Towers of Doom. So both teams trying to stabilize, trying to get the beginning of the match jitters out. It is a best of 3, so it's by no means over just losing the first team fight. There's a whole nother match to go. Should this one not fall to your favor. Bit of a scuffle between Alarak and Muradin, not going anywhere. Bit of an engagement here coming from North Arrow, trying to get LiMing again. The damage comes pouring out. She dropped all the way from full to a sliver of health. And that, that level disadvantage just starting to pour off work during all that damage. LiT eSports down a level. And so not quite able to have as much health as you might think, but Alarak here in harm's way as 3 members at LiT eSports just take him out in the middle of the night and have a rather stern word with him, and with that rotate to get their mercenary camps, and it should be pushing in time for the next round of objectives. Should be close. And LiT eSports through that takedown have done a good job trying to catch back up in experience. They now only trail by half a level. And you know, huge aggressive moves from both teams so far. I mean, it's not even the 4-minute mark. We've already seen 5 takedowns, which is rather high for this you know, for this particular map and this level of play for sure. Single shrine active at the bottom in about 15 seconds. Brightwing expected to port in here at the last minute, so we should have all hands on deck as ETC may be the last to rotate. So LiT eSports should have the numbers advantage, and the lane advantage doesn't hurt either as they're knocking on the wall of the keep for North Arrow. But a bunch of damage coming out on Alarak. Team does arrive in time to isolate Tyrande and gets the first takedown, so 1-0 in favor of North Arrow, but the damage keeps on going. LiT eSports rallies, tries to get a takedown on Brightwing, tries to get a takedown on ETC, and the damage keeps pouring. Li Ming barely escapes, but Muradin is the trade-off instead. So a 2-0 and another round of shots for North Arrow, and they're starting to pull ahead with a substantial advantage in this. The scuffle continues down at the bottom, and Thrall might have bit off a bit more than he could chew as he scrambles to safety. Can he get away from the Alarak silence? He can, but the turnaround comes out. Can Alarak get away from the damage from the Panda and Li Ming? The answer seems to be yes, but now both teams with members at critical health, but still, you know, locked in an engagement. Neither team willing to cede the point to the other. This is, you know, this is 2 high-caliber teams trying to make a statement and trying to, you know, show the other team how they got here and why they're here. But so far, it seems to be going into the favor of North Arrow with a 1.5 level lead, knocking on the door of Heroics, and substantial core damage lead as well. So LiT eSports may not be in a great position to contest this next round of Shrines. It may be in their interest to seed that and try and soak up as much experience as they possibly can to try and get a fight on an even playing field. So far, both teams scrambling around trying to get the engagement they want, and so far neither team really having a go at it. Trine's going to be active in the top, a pair of them. Falstad's got Lily pinned to her building, but LiT eSports rotates up to dislodge Falstad, and the damage comes out, and if Murda can get that stun, might be in harm's way, but no, Gust is up, and it's like a walking disengage tool from Falstad, so he will be just fine. As both teams begin to channel at their respective shrines, battle starts in the middle, damage starts pouring out on Davala, but she starts returning back with a huge strafe, which contributes to the death of Lily. Falstad gets taken out too somewhere in there, and North Arrow able to channel their shrine. The shrine's still active for LiT eSports, and it looks like they're trying to disengage from this. But maybe not quite, as Li Ming is in a great position to get the interrupts. ETC trying to do a good job blocking those shots for Brightwing so she can complete the channeling. And so far, LiT eSports has managed to rally and almost has all of their members back to defend this. They get the takedown on Alarak, Jubs are popped, so LiT eSports going to be gambling with the full deck again, but no, Tyrande's going to get taken down as well. Stage dive doesn't quite connect with anybody, but the damage comes out on Vala, and she is able to barely escape. Can Muradin land the Stormbolt? Oh, he's trying. Vala's loading out the jukes, trying to get away. The Stormbolt does miss, so can she get away from everything else? It looks like the answer is going to be no, but through all that, through the chaos of positioning, Li Ming was taken out as well, so ultimately a 1-for-1, even exchange for both teams. It was kind of messy, but LiT eSports also able to secure their cannon shots. So maybe not the way it was drawn up, maybe not the battle that LiT eSports was really trying to get, but they definitely managed to get the advantage from that, reducing the experience lead and equalizing on shrine damage for that. So the thrill of battle over, both teams elect to go pick up their mercenary camps. Both teams plenty of damage to scoop this out quickly, and North Arrow thinking about maybe a steal, just kind of keeping an eye on it, seeing who comes out of these bushes, but nope, not looking to commit to anything incredibly dangerous. They've had enough of that so far this game. Because we're starting to reach a stage of the game now where, you know, at the first shrine, second shrine, you suffer a takedown. I mean, it's not great. It doesn't help your team by any means, but it's by far from the end of the world. But now, takedowns start accumulating rather long death timers. And that could really have a profound impact on the total outcome of the game. And we might see some of that here as we have another one shrine spawn here in the middle section of the map. 15 seconds away. Several members going to be a bit far away to be there in time for the beginning of the fight. It looks like North Arrow is going to be able to commit a lot more people here, and that's going to be much easier to do with a 2-0 takedown against Thrall and LiT. So this shrine should go largely uncontested, as LiT eSports is in no position to get the takedown, but somewhere during all that, Brightwing paid the price for North Arrow's aggression. Muradin biting way more than he can chew and dives in, but the supporting cast just isn't there to unload damage during that stun, and Muradin dies a small dwarf death for no gain. 32-20 in favor of North Arrow. Still plenty of game to go, and the one silver lining for LiT eSports is, well, I guess there's two. They've managed to get some engagements they want. They haven't been totally rolled, and they've managed to get takedowns when they need them, and getting one on Alarak is certainly what they need to start escalating back into this game. 30 seconds of a power play. Almost getting ETC. Can they finish the job? Not quite. Ball there to discourage the further pursuit. But the other thing that's been very favorable for LiT eSports is they've lost the early engagements fairly handily. I mean, they've only managed to get 2 shrines out of the 7 that have spawned. But in many cases, the ones that have spawned have just been singles. So it's not like North Arrow was able to control a whole bunch of the map and really start putting the threat on the core total. Big engagement here from both teams for the mercenary camp. Channeling still up. ETC does pay the price. Brightwing is in peril. Will Muradin be able to get the stun? It doesn't seem quite, but LiT eSports does secure a takedown, and the mercenary camp, who gleefully crashes into the structure of North Arrow, further putting pressure on their defensive structures. Meanwhile, a scrap between Li-Ming and Falstad. Both members managed to escape without huge damage, although Falstad's mana is fairly low. May have to consider Arthing back, tapping the fountain, something to get the tools he needs to properly fight. Shrines up in 15 seconds. We see both teams clustering fairly high around these top shrines, particularly LiT eSports, and looks like North Arrow is willing to send the bulk of their force down to the middle, just to see where, trying to get a sense of where everybody at. And Falstad able to juke all the attacks, Sundering essentially countered by Gust. So good evasion from Falstad. Way to take a bad situation and make it not so bad. But North Arrow capitalizing heavily on that pursuit. That engagement from Falstad cost LiT eSports valuable time, and North Arrow able to get 2 of the shrines fairly unchallenged. Huge fight here at the gates of LiT eSports. A 2-0 as Lili and Tarand get taken out, so the supports are totally offline for LiT eSports, but they're not done fighting yet, trying to get the takedown on Brightwing, but unable to do so, and Thrall will pay the price for that. So with 3-0 in favor of North Arrow, they have 1 keep on LiT's side of the map to their name, so they're looking to hopefully get some more, waiting for that minion wave to trundle up so they can really dive this building and put a hurting on it. And so LiT eSports wisely not deciding to contest this building. They say, well, if you're going to gain one, we'll take one away from you. And it really doesn't matter where on the map it is at this point. In fact, you can have the middle one anyway, because it's not likely we're going to have any mercenary camps pushing on that. But very good timing from North Arrow. You saw that they were able to close out the mid building and the top building right around the same time. See those health bars awfully close. And all the while also getting the boss on that. North Arrow has no idea what stopping is like as they immediately rotate to a huge engagement, get the takedown on Tyrande. It does cost them Falstad, and it's chaos as heroes are running all over the place. Stage Dive is going to take out Thrall Brightwing once again at critical health. But it doesn't matter as Lili's going to be the third takedown against LiT eSports. The damage comes pouring down on Muradin. And it's going to be Li Ming by herself to try and hold down this fort for another 20 seconds. Fortunately for her, North Arrow not really in position to blast through that bottom structure just yet. So LiT eSports won't have to worry about controlling the battlefield. So that does give them time to solve even more problems. And this is essentially game point for North Arrow. They've got a mercenary camp pushing in that's going to go largely uncontested. So LiT eSports core is effectively at 3 right now, which means they can't surrender any more shrines for a long time. And the contest is going to be here at the mid. LiT eSports does have the numbers, but Brightwing warps in, able to equalize. Falstad zips down to the bottom. Is LiT eSports aware of this? Thrall looks like he has the sense. The Tyrande able to connect at just the last second. So LiT eSports still alive. Falstad trying to channel. Can he complete it? He can, and those 5 shots are going to be the end of the game for round 1 going to North Arrow. And that's the exciting part about play at this level is, when you first start out, it's always about caution. Do we engage? Do we pursue? Are we willing to fight? And both these teams clearly demonstrating that they are not scared to take an engagement and combat all the way from start to finish. So an awesome match, but round 1 does fall to North Arrow. And we'll be back in just a couple moments as we get the map set up for round 2 here in this round of 16 playoff match. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we are back. The match is set up. The map is going to be Dragonshire, and we are already live. Both teams just waiting to explode into action as we go into round 2 here for this playoff match. Again, my name is Terrace Baz, bringing to you Game 2 in this best of 3 series between LiT eSports on the red and North Arrow on the blue. Once again, we see the Samuro Malfurion picks. You can almost just etch that in stone for the moment, as if you don't want to play Samuro, you pick them because you don't want the other team to have it, because he's still super good, and will probably be super good for some time. Dragonshire kind of offers a significantly different challenge from what we just saw on Towers of Doom. And it all kind of depends on how much each team really cares about having the dragon. There's a big argument about whether or not you think capturing the dragon is what you need to do, or if just firmly denying the dragon is good enough and you can push through structures the normal way. So priorities here are likely to see being long-range poke damage to get into a point where you know someone's going to be there, particularly the bushes surrounding the thing. Staying power, someone is able to just stay in the fight for a big long time. I've got dreams of seeing Artanis here, but that would be a long shot, I know. But who knows? It's Thursday night, it's late, a couple people have had a few. Anything could happen. Could be anything. And finally, mobility. Certainly something desired. And more and more, ETC is becoming the mobility tool rather than the mosh pitting tool, as everyone's had enough games where a mosh pit totally destroyed your team that it's something you're keenly aware of. You'll pick a team that has ways to respond to it, and so mosh pit, just through experience in the player base, has sort of lost some value in that sense, which as a consequence means stage dive is a bit better. So it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that the scene is fluid and changing, and it makes for a more exciting viewing experience, because stage dive just looks cooler than mosh pit. Just hands down. Vala going to be the damage pickup for North Arrow. So far, both teams starting off fairly similar to our last match, despite drafting in the opposite order. So both teams clearly showing their preference in heroes that their players are comfortable with, which probably matters more than anything else. Is, if you're only comfortable on a few heroes, that's what you're going to pick. Ariel and Chen gonna be the picks for LiT eSports. So North Arrow doesn't have the opportunity to ban Ariel again, so Li Ming will get to wear the double crown and look ridiculous going in that parade of people watching this dragon fight, which ultimately seems kind of silly. If you look on the map, there's a bunch of peasants and like royalty just kind of watching around as this giant stone monster just pounces around the field and destroys all these buildings people have worked hard for. It's very dangerous. And Chen's going to be the other pick for LiT eSports. Huge staying power, and if you just want to glue someone to a point, Chen is arguably one of the best people you can glue on a point. There's his brew demands specific responses, and not everyone's capable of dealing that, so it does sort of force North Arrow to deal with Chen in particular ways. But Muradin's not going to be one of those ways. Throwing a big hammer is a great way to just negate a whole bunch of shields, but that tool's not going to be available for North Arrow. And North Arrow might have tipped their hand a little bit here with the Tychus ban. Tychus, a hero that's very strong against very high health heroes, because either it's baked into his kit or a common talent he takes does the giant killer trait, where it's a percentage of a hero's maximum health. So it really shines if those heroes have a huge health pool to start with. And so Muradin taken off the table from North Arrow, so if that's really what they want to do, they're not going to have to do it without that tool. A good draft sense from both teams with those bans. Brightwing going to be the supportive choice for North Arrow. Certainly a strong support in her own right on most normal maps, but with this split objective map in the top and bottom lane, having the ability to just be everywhere you want to be is super strong and a very good pickup. Alarak going to be, again, the pick for North Arrow. So really this, I can't remember how the supports went, but I think this may be the exact same team so far that we saw from North Arrow in the last match, and I think it is. I think all 4 heroes had their showing on Towers of Doom. So LiT eSports should have a good sense of where this is coming and how North Arrow likes to structure their engagements. So can they use that knowledge to alter their draft or alter their map strategies? We'll see how it goes, but they are on the button for their 4th and 5th final picks for round 2 here. Clock's starting to wind down and become a bit of an issue, and both teams taking this draft a fair bit slower than last time, with more knowledge and more information, and LiT eSports, with their tournament life on the line, wanted to make sure they've explored every option before they click that button. And the options they've landed on are Kerrigan and Tyrande. So a gigantic amount of damage and stunning potential from, well, shoot, nearly everybody on the team. I mean, everybody except Li Ming has some sort of movement disruption, and I guess if you count her non-laser beam ultimate, that counts as well. But if they can isolate somebody, and maybe they can just glue down and blow up ETC to prevent the engagement from shaping the way North Arrow wants. Maybe that's the response LiT eSports has crafted. And I'll really apologize if the intent is to be LiT eSports. I know I sound like just a bit of an idiot if I'm spelling out words that are supposed to be normal words. So I do apologize for that. North Arrow just sneaking in that Dahaka pick there at the last minute, and so they are going to go with the double warrior composition that the Tychus band sort of alluded to. Maybe this isn't where they wanted to land, but it's what they were able to make do, and they had such a great time moving enemy heroes around the map. That's a clear priority for both teams. I mean, both teams really want to mess up the engagement from the other team, and having the initiative, starting the fight, it may come down to who starts more fights, because those seem to be the way to shape battles the way you want to. So we'll get some settings adjusted here in just a moment. We'll get loaded into the map very shortly and bring you this next round of Chair League action. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. That is super quick. Good job, Blizzard, for getting those loading times down. On the blue team for this second round representing North Arrow, we have Majam on Brightwing, Zik on Vala, Mr. Oreo on ETC, Dividiakos on Dahaka, and Devil Shark on Alarak. And on the red team for LiT eSports, looking to keep their tournament life in tow and go to a round 3, we have Red Vendel on Ariel, Akuma on Chen, Roses in Hell on Tyrande, Unknown Soul on Kerrigan, and Irelevia on Li Ming. Gates are down, teams are in the middle of the lane looking to scoop up some sort of early engagement, and North Arrow with a very nice checkmark formation trying to bait someone on LiT eSports to come into the grass of doom, but no one biting on the bait just yet. Both teams still posturing, trying to find an in for an engagement, and similar to last time, we see that no one's willing to surrender the crucially early takedown through a simple misstep, so teams will be off to the lanes. In the top lane, we're going to see Alarak duel against Chen, a fight which should go exactly nowhere, as both members able to keep themselves alive through just alcoholism or teleportation. But a bunch of damage going out on Kerrigan. Bala able to try and scoop out a few parting shots, almost able to get the takedown. Does force the well tap from LiT eSports, or I guess specifically from Kerrigan. And the rotations are real from North Arrow as they've got a 3-man blob going between mid and bottom, and dedicating Alarak to the top lane. The question is, where is the 5th hero? Oh, down in the bottom lane. He must have been in mid. So Shrine's still in flux. Alarak in harm's way. Don't think he's going to be able to escape this nice trap from Chen and Kerrigan. To get the takedown and get a firm foothold on the top Shrine. So the engagement's coming down here into the bottom. Can North Arrow secure this in time? And it looks like the answer is yes. Tyrande able to, or Dahaka able to stall and delay long enough to prevent the channel. Meanwhile, in the top lane, LiT Esports getting work done here on this top set of structures, blowing through those top buildings. But Tyrande is going to pay for it with her life, so LiT Esports is going to have to back off a little bit, being a man down and $1 short for at least a little bit. Can Li Ming get away from this? No, ETC able to get the last second power slide to glue her in place just long enough to eke out that little bit of damage. And with that, both teams are back even from experience. Somewhere there's a takedown from Alarak, I suspect, up here in the top, as Chen slowly escapes from parting tower shots from that forward. I'm guessing he dove in there and just gave him one last pen to punch for the end. And so the violence continues. Top Shrine in control of LiT Esports. North Arrow commands the bottom. And it looks like that's where the rotation's going to go. North Arrow trying to defend this. They don't want to surrender an early dragon, which is not going to be the end of the world, but certainly not an advantage you just want to give away for free. North Arrow begins pushing back here in the top lane. Dahaka just Tonka trucks away Kerrigan and just hauls her straight to demise, as North Arrow is going to secure this top structure, and with that, the Shrine is going to be active in favor of North Arrow. And so this is one of my favorite things about Dragonshire. It's, you know, how much do you want? You can rotate between lanes as much as you want. You can, you know, have people constantly running, chasing down structures, chasing down shrines, trying to hold on as best you can, or you can plant a flag somewhere and say we're going to surrender a certain portion of this map, but not enough to give you what you really want. And right now that seems to be what LiT Esports is doing. They're willing to say, we're not going to rush and panic to go take a shrine. We're going to wait and figure out what's going to work out best for us. And they do manage to take out top and pump a lot of damage out on Brightwing. Is Kerrigan going to be able to escape? The dive comes down, but the damage just isn't quite enough to get the equalizing takedown against Brightwing. But somewhere Alarak falls, but Ariel is traded for it, so a 2-for-1 in favor of North Arrow, as there's just violence all over the map, and it is just straight impossible to keep up with where all the fights are going. Even if I'm watching the minimap, because I'm a good student of Heroes of the Storm, and I promise I do that all the time. Dragon Knight is active for North Arrow, channeled by Mr. Oreo himself, and he has set his sights squarely on the bottom lane here, so far uncontested. North Arrow decided to send the dragon south and send most of their energy into the mid lane, but only briefly, as the rotation comes down from LiT Esports to take out the dragon. And this, unfortunately, isn't going to do a colossal amount of damage with the dragon push. And it looks like they're not going to be able to get a fort from this. They do get a Chen somewhere. But no significant structure damage beyond essentially all the walls falling. So it's not a decisive win, it's not a killing blow, but they do have a level advantage and will be in a great position to take out those forts with any future push. But most notably, heroics are on the doorstep for North Arrow, and looks like they are active, and LiT Esports is going to have to put the brakes on engagements for about another minute or so as they try and claw up to level 10. But who am I to judge? Instead, they find the engagement in top and say the fastest way we're going to get an experience is by killing North Arrow, and they get the 2-for-0. and are almost there at level 10. So with Alarak and Brightwing off the map for a while, they can force the engagement now, as they will have the numbers. And once they're around, LiT eSports should have the advantage here, but Kerrigan and Ariel not quite in the fight yet. And ETC jumps into... No, he was in the fight the whole time. I guess he stave died just to get back in the fight. All right, both teams back at full power. Heroics are online for everybody, so we can settle down into a nice, orderly, designed game of Heroes of the Storm, as North Arrow decides that they're tired of this bottom fort and they're going to take out at least the healing fountain and maybe get some parting shots out on the fort as well. Rotation comes down from LiT eSports. A nice burrow from Dahaka to avoid the Kerrigan combo and escape with fairly minimal damage. Meanwhile, the push continues from North Arrow here in the top lane, and the rotation doesn't seem to be quite there yet from LiT eSports. North Arrow could do a great deal of damage here if they so choose. But instead, LiT eSports is going to get their siege camp to push bottom while teams are worried about rotating to shrines. And North Arrow in strong position to just scoop up both of these shrines immediately. ETC proudly camped here on the top to duel Chen, and Dahaka claiming the bottom. So it is active for North Arrow, and with the Kerrigan takedown, North Arrow enjoys the numbers advantage. But Chen able to barrel up into the top lane to steal that shrine away from ETC. That duel is going to continue for a while. I wouldn't expect... I've been wrong before, but I wouldn't suspect a huge takedown without a rotation from someone to come up there and lend a hand. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Tyrande reclaiming the shrine for LiT eSports. ETC and Chen just punching each other to, I don't want to say death, but maybe annoyance. Maybe punching each other to annoyance is what they're doing. Brightwing coming in to help out, so that should encourage Chen to leave in a nice, disorderly manner. Barreling out of the way, as it were. The rotation comes up from LiT eSports, and they're not comfortable just trading around, but Ariel and Li Ming and Tyrande are taken out, so huge engagement here at the shrine, warped away at just the last minute. So this dragon will firmly go to North Arrow, and they're going to barrel down through the mid lane with defenses down and only Kerrigan and Chen to try and stop this. And the two of them are by no means able to stand up to this huge force looming in the mid lane. But if there's a silver lining, it's that it took long enough to get the fort down that they should have full power before the damage starts coming down at their keep wall. And quickly they're able to erode about a half of the dragon's health, so its life should be fairly short-lived for this world. Meanwhile, Brightwing and Chen have their dance up in the top lane, just trying to glom up some extra experience points while this fight drags on. Rotation comes down. Ariel kicked out of the fight. A big hit coming down. A nice recovery from Ariel is going to keep Kerrigan standing. Can she get the takedowns to restore her health? No, Ravage not up. And Kerrigan will fall with Brightwing and Vala at just critically low health. That fight could have easily gone the other way if Q was able to just delete two people and bring Kerrigan back to about half health. But instead, it's going to be a 2-0 in favor of North Arrow, who currently enjoys a 3-level lead, a talent tier advantage, and a map presence for about another 15 seconds to do whatever they want. But LiT eSports was able to defend the keeps in all 3 lanes. And so they are able to stabilize and try again to shape the fight they want. And you can see there, even being down at least 2 levels, they were so close to turning that around. You know, just 1 or 2 abilities was the difference between, you know, a 3-0 against and at least a 2-0 for. So don't count this over yet. LiT eSports still has plenty of fight in them, and they're not afraid to bring it to North Arrow, which we may have here. North Arrow has clear visibility on LiT eSports. The combo goes down, but the follow-up isn't there against Alarak. So Kerrigan will come out unfavorably for that damage trade. But camp does go active for LiT eSports. A colossal amount of damage comes out against them, though, as Tyrande falls, Kerrigan falls, but they do manage to steal the Brightwing kill as well. Can Ariel get away? No. And it's a 3-for-1 in favor of North Arrow, but the damage keeps going. Can Li Ming get to safety? She can. But the question is now, will those orbs hit ETC? And no. So everyone just completely spent, having to hearth back, having to walk back to structures, not able to dive too hard. As heroes' health pools drop, if you're not Dahaka, who I guess scoops up trash from the ground and just eats a snack and has a great time. Shrine's active in the middle of all that in about 5 seconds. Dahaka in position in the top lane, ETC again in position in the bottom. I think they switched roles there. And so, again, LiT eSports is going to have to respond to the possibility of an imminent dragon. And while they have the numbers, can they get to Alarak in time? The answer is no. So Dragon number 3 is going to go to North Arrow, and once again, barreling down the mid lane with almost full support from his team. Dahaka going to be slightly late to the fight, but he can take his time. He doesn't take orders from nobody. Damage comes down. Dragon still at a ton of health, but no huge engagement just yet. Both teams full ultimates active, so we should see a huge engagement here, as this may be LiT eSports' last stand to hang on to their position in this round and the match. We'll see how things begin to shape up. Keep falling to about half health. It's very unlikely to survive this fight. Starfall trying to discourage anybody else from putting more pressure down on this. Dragon is about to fall as well. And so Keep falls. It's almost expected with the Dragon Knight at this stage of the game. But Chen doing an excellent job just punishing Dahaka, pushing him all the way back into the back, but it does cost them Kerrigan. So a 1-for-1. But North Arrow now in full retreat. That does cost them Vala as well, so a 2-for-1 in favor of LiT eSports. If they can chase them down, if they can get another takedown, Brightwing's mobility is limited to her normal speed, because she, by taking Emerald Wind, she's not able to use her Blink Heal to keep up with the retreating party, just blinking to her allies as they mount away. But LiT eSports doesn't continue the pursuit. They know that if they didn't win a victory there, they at least held a draw. It was very unlikely they were going to be able to protect that keep from destruction, but getting the advantage in takedowns does put them back on par for talent tiers, and they should be able to initiate one last engagement before Storm talents are active. And it may be coming down on ETC here, who's caught in terrible shape as the damage bomb just explodes on him, falling to half health very quickly. Brightwing's ultimate is up. She can use it to disengage, and it doesn't look like it's going to be necessary. As ETC just slams down and initiates the fight on 3 members of LiT eSports. So very good on North Arrow, not panicking there, realizing that the fight wasn't over. They can still eke an advantage out of it. And can Chen and Li Ming escape from this? Chen at critical health, just moving back to ensure that Li Ming can escape, because it was unlikely Chen was getting out of that. Best LiT eSports could have done, I think, in that situation was get Li Ming to safety just to keep pokes out. And North Arrow continuing to press the advantage, taking the bruiser camp on LiT's side of the map. As shrines are active, expect Dahaka to burrow down to the bottom lane to cap this shrine as he is there. So again, so many problems for LiT eSports to solve. Catapults barreling down in the mid lane. Dragon going to be imminently coming in the mid as well. Mercenary camps pushing both top and bottom. And Chen just now spawning. So this truly is the last stand for LiT eSports. If they can secure a decisive win in this team fight, then it's going to give them the momentum and the position and the time they need to turn this around. But anything short of that, and I think this may be the round, so we'll see how things shape up. Kerrigan booted away very quickly. The damage comes out on Chen, trying to barrel roll to safety. Can she get it? A nice save from Ariel, at least stalling, but can't delay the inevitable forever as Chen is taken down. A 1-for-0 in favor of North Arrow. The core shields are down, starts dropping. The Dragon still at 2/3 health, and that's just, the damage just isn't there to plow through that as Kerrigan gets taken out as well. GG is called as the core shines its last light on Dragonshire before exploding in a fury of rubble. And that's going to be the round and the match for North Arrow. So what a Man, I don't think I stopped talking for a single minute during that engagement because there were fights all over the map initiated by both teams. I mean, towards the end, it seemed to tilt fairly heavily towards North Arrow's advantage. They were always in position to get the shrines. They were always putting pressure on LiT eSports to respond to problems that they just couldn't afford. But don't forget at the beginning of the map that there were plenty of engagements that LiT eSports started and just bum rushed someone to get a free takedown. I mean, those exchanges went back and forth cleanly all the way up until about level 8 or 9. When many teams would have said, you know, we're down 2 levels, we're not in position to really force an engagement. Let's be safe. Let's be meek. Let's be passive. LiT Esports said, nope, we're going to go find someone, because if there's 4 people somewhere, that means there's 1 somewhere, and we're going to murder that person. TerraSpaz and Cherry League does not condone actual murder. That's bad and will land you in prison and make you unhappy for quite a while. But both teams clearly played in their comfort zones. They were able to draft what appears to be the teams they wanted, with many repeat heroes, particularly for North Arrow, who I think, I can't remember who they had in the first round, but if you're looking at the screen right now, Dahaka is the only difference from the team they had in the first. So they were definitely able to structure the map the way they wanted to. LiT Esports did a good job trying to change something up, trying to apply more crowd control to the board. I like the Tyrande pick with Ariel. Unfortunately, North Arrow just did a great job using Dahaka, Alarak, and ETC to just move someone so far away that they were beyond salvation. And dual support, when someone on your team just dies, is the damage and sustainability just isn't there, and things begin to erode quite quickly from that point. So congratulations to a thrilling match provided by both teams. It was a treat to watch and a joy to cast. But unfortunately, there is only one W, and today that W is going to go to North Arrow. Congratulations. Wish them the best of luck in Round 8, which we should see next week here on Cherry League. My name's been TerraSpaz, and I'll see you all in the Nexus. Have a good night.